All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into a problem that, funnily enough, often happens when a company gets really successful. Its most important systems, the ones that run the whole business, start drowning in their own data. It's this silent drag on performance and a huge hidden cost. So, the big question is, how do you fix it? So, let's start with a little thought experiment. Picture your company's main database as this massive, massive warehouse. Every single transaction, every invoice, every email, it's a box that gets placed on a shelf. And for a while, it works great. But what happens when you never, ever throw anything away for years and years on end? Well, eventually, that warehouse becomes a complete and utter cluttered mess. Trying to find anything takes forever. The cost of just keeping the lights on goes through the roof. And this digital bloat, as they call it, isn't just an IT headache. Nope, it's a real business problem that slows down performance, drains the budget, and turns what should be simple system upgrades into an absolute nightmare. And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. This is a real-world challenge that major companies, like Dow Jones in this case, are actively trying to solve. The cost of just storing and managing all this data, it becomes a significant and constantly growing operational expense. So what's the game plan here? How do you fix a warehouse that's literally overflowing? I mean, you can't just burn it to the ground. A lot of that data is absolutely critical to the business. You need a smart, strategic plan to figure out what to keep, what to store away, and what to finally throw away. And that plan has a name. It's called Data Volume Management, or DVM for short. And this isn't a one-time purge. You gotta understand that. It's an ongoing, living strategy to control that data growth by doing two things really, really well: archiving and housekeeping. And you can see that mission crystal clear in this objective from the Dow Jones Project Plan. It says it all, right? The goal is to create a leaner database, one that's faster, more reliable, and frankly, a whole lot cheaper to run. So DVM, it really boils down to these two key tactics. And it's not just about hitting the delete button. It's about being intelligent with your data, knowing the difference between the stuff you need to put in long-term storage versus the stuff you just need to throw in the trash. Here's the best way to think about it. Archiving is like moving old, but still important files to a secure offsite storage unit. You don't need them every day, but hey, you can get them if an auditor ever comes knocking. Housekeeping, on the other hand, is just shredding the junk mail. It's getting rid of the old drafts and temporary files you definitely don't need anymore. It's gone. Permanent deletion. Now, to make this all happen, you've got to have rules. You can't just wing it. The old, sort of unwritten rule was, keep everything forever. But the new approach introduces a really simple but powerful idea: a residence period. Basically, it's an expiration date for how long data gets to live in the main, super expensive system before it gets automatically moved out. And here's exactly what that looks like in the real world. Just take a look at that line for work item. Okay, so these are records of completed workflows, like an invoice getting approved. Instead of just sitting in the main database forever, cluttering things up, they'll now be moved to the archive after just 1 year. Still accessible, yeah, but no longer slowing down the day-to-day system. All right, now let's flip over to housekeeping. This is all about deletion. Temporary files from old print jobs, gone after 10 days. The logs that track all those background system processes, wiped after 2 weeks. It's just like taking out the digital trash on a regular, predictable schedule. A great strategy is one thing, but it's totally useless without a solid execution plan. So how did Dow Jones actually turn this idea into a reality? Well, they used a really clear, methodical, 4-step approach. And they didn't reinvent the wheel. They followed a classic, super effective playbook. First, you design the rules. Then you build the actual solution. Next, and this is so crucial, you test everything like crazy to make sure you don't accidentally break some critical business process. And only then do you deploy it into the live system. And wow, just look at how methodical this is. The entire project is mapped out over about 5 months. You can see these clear phases for design, build, and especially testing, all leading up to a very specific go-live date. This tells you right away this is not some weekend project, it's a careful, strategic operation. Okay, so after all that planning, all that careful execution, what's the payoff? Why go through all this trouble in the first place? Well, the payoff is where this whole thing stops being just an IT project and starts becoming a real, tangible business advantage. Well, the benefits they're just huge. You've got lower infrastructure costs because you're not paying for premium storage for data you don't even need. You get a faster, more responsive system for every single user. And here's the really big one. Future upgrades become way simpler and far less risky. All of a sudden, all those hidden costs of digital bloat just start to disappear. And if you want a really stunning example of just how big an impact this can have, get this. In these big SAP systems, there's this one specific database table that basically acts as a digital filing cabinet for all kinds of attachments, Word docs, PDFs, you name it. Just by cleaning out that one table, the project was aiming to reclaim over 110 gigabytes of prime database space. That is a massive win from a single move. You know what else was really smart about this plan? The cost. Instead of going out and buying some brand new, shiny system, they decided to use the company's existing archive server. And what that means is no new software to buy, no new systems for the team to learn. It makes the whole solution incredibly cost-effective. So at the end of the day, it all boils down to this one powerful idea. Data volume management isn't just about freeing up space on a hard drive. It is a strategic decision that drives efficiency. This is not IT spring cleaning. It's a core business strategy. Let's be clear. This isn't just some IT task. This is a strategic business initiative, period. It has a direct, measurable impact on profit and on the company's ability to be agile and adapt. By getting data growth under control, you're making sure the engine that runs the entire business is running lean, fast, and is ready for whatever comes next. So that leaves us with one final thought. Your company's data, every company's data, is growing every single second of every single day. Just letting it pile up, that's not a strategy, that's a liability. So the real question is, do you have a plan for yours?